Montana is one of the fastest growing states here in America, but there's only one problem. There's just too many people and not enough houses.
Montana is facing a critical crisis if our housing puzzle isn't solved soon.
Home prices have gone up about 35% in the last 2 years. They're certainly not vested into our community if they can't afford to buy a home.
And that's where the problem lies, according to those of the Billings Association of Realtors.
Long-term effects are going to be pretty negative if we don't find solutions to our housing.
Now, it wouldn't be so bad if incomes rose along with cost of living, but that is not a reality here in Montana. Cost of living is high and income is low. Sooner or later, it's going to reach a breaking point, and that's when disaster strikes.
But we stock grocery stores, police, fire. I mean, if people can't buy homes, they're more unsettled, more likely to go someplace where they can. But I estimate that 75% of the people who could afford a home 3 years ago cannot buy one today.
My hands are so cold. It's like 20 degrees out here. But right now, I need to get some coffee because if I don't, I'm gonna be a chocolate popsicle. Nice and warm. Now, they are building a lot of houses here in Montana. There's a place I want to take you that are building houses as fast as they can. But with the demand, they just can't keep up with the influx of people coming in. Let's go. As you see all of these houses right here, and this house right here, and that house right over there, all of these are going for about $400,000. Can you believe it? Look at this. The American dream, baby, is all around us. And look, boom, boom. All of these houses were built, well, 2023. Can't say this year anymore because it's January. But you see this house is available too, sold by Keller Williams. This one is being sold by Sierra Custom Homes, and a lot of those over there are being built by Weatherall Builders. These are all premium builders here in the Helena area, and they are building houses like the world is ending. All of these houses behind me have been built last year, and the funny thing about it is been bought in the very same year. There's some houses here that I've painted last year, and before I can even put the last drop of paint on, you had the residents moving in. So this housing market is hot, and that's why the prices are so inflated.
I've applied to at least 10, to the upwards of like 12 to 13.
April Jackson and her family lost their rental in Chester when the owners sold it. She has been searching for a place to live in the Helena area for just over 5 months. She's currently staying on a friend's couch. Her kids, they're in Chester with family, and she is searching for a place.
How's that process been going?
It hasn't. I mean, I go and I look and I apply and I do follow-up calls, and Nothing has come of all of this searching.
According to a Washington Post interactive graph using data from CoStar in late April, the average cost of rent from the first quarter of 2020 to the first quarter of 2022 went up by over 36% in that time span. According to the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency's data, housing prices in the state are up nearly 39% in that same 2-year span, meaning an apartment that cost $1,000 a month now costs on average $1,360 per month, and a house that cost $300,000 is now over $400,000. And while those price increases are staggering, you will have to find housing before you even think about putting in a down payment or security deposit.
This house for rent right on Broadway is $2,000 a month. When I first got to Helena, it was either that rent was way too expensive for me to afford, or the places that I could afford, there was at least 50 people there to look at the same apartment that me and my family was. $2,000 a month is a bit excessive, but the state of Montana, they might have a solution. Hey y'all, I'm in the halls of power right now in Montana state government, and behind those doors, they created 3 new bills that's gonna change Montana forever in ways that people like, and mostly in ways that other Montanans do not like.
Senate Bill 323, which would require larger cities to allow duplexes where single-family homes are allowed, and Senate Bill 528, which would require smaller accessory dwelling units be allowed on single-family lots.
This is what we call gentle density. We're not talking high-rise apartments on every parcel. And no one in these bills or elsewhere is forcing any type of development on these parcels.
If you lived in a nice house in a quiet tree-lined neighborhood and you had a multiplex going up next to you, you can call it NIMBYism. People want to protect their properties.
I'm taking a dirt road detour to meet Andy Cottrell, Helena's real estate whiz. His office? Unconventional, but that's where his genius lives. In Helena, the best ideas often come from the path less taken. Hello, Andy.
Oh, hey.
How you doing, bud?
Good, how are you?
It's good to see you.
It's nice to see you also.
Okay.
Welcome to my office. I don't get a lot of visitors out here very much, but you know.
Thank you, Andy, for meeting me here in your office that has no roof.
There's no roof in my office. Heaven is my roof.
Now, I just have a couple questions for you. What are the key factors contributing to the current housing affordability crisis in Montana's growing cities?
Okay, that's a loaded question, but I'm going to try and unpack it. There's a few factors. Number one is the exchange rate is much higher coming from a different market. And let me tell you that people are selling their homes for much larger amounts of money and having a lot of liquid cash here to buy a house. And why are they coming here with that liquid cash? It's because this place is a beautiful place. It's really still in the 21st century in the United States undiscovered. What really holds it back at this point is probably the climate, is it? But there is something someone can do every season of the year. People say Montana's 4 seasons. I kind of disagree coming from Maine. We have four distinct seasons. These guys kind of run into each other, but there's always an activity that someone can do here. Coupled with the fact that through geopolitical reasons, people are leaving where they in the larger cities and coming here because they can't stand those cities anymore.
What are the most effective strategies or solutions to address the housing shortage in Montana without compromising community integrity?
You're not going to compromise community integrity if you don't have a community. What has happened in the past is people come in and buy huge swaths of land. If you weren't an original landowner here in Montana, which there are a number of families that have had land here forever, but if you came in and bought large swaths, you were able to subdivide it if you wanted to create subdivisions. And those are outside the city. And they were creating their own communities. I think what is happening now in Montana, since we're having this influx through all kinds of reasons, COVID, geopolitical reasons in your own city, huge city, you want to get rid of it, you want to leave, you sell your house for $1 million, you buy one in cash, same size here for $500,000. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. But as far as the sense of community, I think we're going to bring that back, and we're going to create communities within smaller communities within a large community in a geographical area that's much smaller than these communities being built way outside of town, which I consider urban sprawl.
How do you foresee the housing market and urban development evolving in Montana over the next decade, considering the current trends and challenges?
The 2 major factors in creating a community and a sound one are water and sewer. These are the problems that have happened, I think, in Montana since this influx of people that's been happening since probably the 60s or the 70s. There is a time between the 70s and now, where it really peaked and it started to come in a lot quicker. The problem is we're still running on wells and septics outside of the city municipality. You have city water and sewer to a certain point, then it's well and septic. What the Montana communities have to start doing as these populations grow, as you move out of the city, we have to annex them. They're starting in Helena on the west side to bring in those homes into the city and water sewer. But those are the two most important things. And you can only poke so many holes in the ground when it really becomes detrimental. So I think when they develop good, strong city and water that can move outside and be affordable, key word, that's the operative word, is affordable, then I think you'll see these communities grow in a healthy fashion.
You may be asking yourself, hey Davy, why are you making video or content on rents and housing here in Helena? My rents was raised 3 times last year, and I know a lot of people are concerned too, so that's what kind of inspired this video. But if you have any comments or you have a story of your own, please don't hesitate to leave something or a comment down in the comment space. And I look forward to hearing your stories. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.